I got your wig and yes, you're still mad. I got your wig and ha 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 ha. I got your wig and ha 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 ha. You're so upset and I could care less. Get out of my face. I got your wig and yes, you're still mad. Ooh, you're mad, bitch.
I have been diagnosed with a mental illness, bipolar 1.
So for instance, again, in the middle of an episode of either mania or depression, people who are manic will often do things that are really impulsive and really out of character. And so issues of infidelity can come up, for instance, in a patient with mania who's having a sexual partner or sexual partners outside of the relationship in the midst of a manic episode. People will often spend money that they really can't afford to spend in the midst of a manic episode, which you can imagine will cause a lot of strain for them personally, but also in the context of their families. People in the midst of mania often don't appear to be logical, and so they will go to work and will have lots of irritability. And you can imagine again that coworkers are confused, bosses are confused, and especially if they don't understand a lot about the illness, it can affect their work relationships and their ability to maintain their employment. You can imagine that if it's hard to get up out of bed and even go to the supermarket and get your groceries for the day, that it can be very difficult to go to work and get all the things that you need to get done, either in your work life or in your personal life. People will report guilt or sometimes feeling like they're worthless. People will also report that they feel like they're either kind of moving in slow motion, which is known as psychomotor retardation, and occasionally people will report that they actually feel jittery, which is known as psychomotor agitation. In addition, people will report disturbances in their sleep, which are most commonly insomnia. So either difficulty falling asleep, waking up in the middle of the night, or waking up earlier in the morning than one intends to. Occasionally, this can be hypersomnia, though, where people are sleeping, for instance, 10, 12, 13, 14 or more hours per day. Patients with bipolar disorder often are resistant to receiving treatment, especially during a manic episode. And this is really part of the illness in terms of not understanding that one is sick. Bipolar disorder cannot be cured. However, people will often find that they will go periods of time without having any illness or periods of euthymia. It really depends on the individual and how their clinical course goes, as well as finding treatments that work. The mainstay of treatments are mood stabilizers. So these are medications that are used to keep somebody from having, most notably, a manic episode or a depressive episode. Finding the right treatment can sometimes be a little frustrating, and patients really need to hang in there as their doctors try different medications to figure out what works best with their neurobiology. In order to support a loved one who has bipolar disorder, it's really important to realize that this is an illness like any other illness. A lot of times people will think of mental illnesses as being something that's within the control of the individual. And the individual will often think that as well, feeling tremendous guilt when they do have episodes of either mania or depression. And so the first thing is realizing that people don't choose to have bipolar disorder, and they would definitely choose to live with more mental wellness than having this illness. It's really important to be calm, present, and consistent with people with bipolar disorder, as well as supporting them and maintaining their treatment. In the next 10, 20, 30, 50 years, I really see a lot more research being done to try to find treatments that are effective and have less side effects than some of the medications that we have currently available today.
And the difference between bipolar and bipolar 1 is really the degree of manic that you have. And if there was a bipolar 2,
It's okay, Mia.
if there was a bipolar 2 or 3 or 4, quite frankly, I would have those.
Really? Wow.
Bipolar in and of itself causes your mind to really work opposite. And your mind tricks you into saying you are normal.
I know there's going to come a time when I probably won't be able to satisfy all your needs. I want you to know that I am okay with you finding what you need elsewhere. I only have 2 rules. One is, don't give me a reason to look for it. Secondly, keep the kids out of it. As long as you'll do that, I'm fine. Now, what really aggravates me through all of this is that I've given her permission, but yet she still chooses to sneak around, chooses to lie, chooses to continually change her story about what's going on and why she's leaving me and this, that, and the other, and actually not even telling me why. What she's told me, well, she's told me that this guy's her soulmate. I said, well, babe, you can have the best of both worlds. I've said you can see someone, just don't make it public. Be careful and don't involve the kids. Well, she still was still sneaking around and thinking I didn't know. I mean, I see the phone records. I pay the phone bills. My name's on the account. I see. And I see the calls at 2 o'clock in the morning and the times when I'm away from home and all those kinds of things. So I knew what was going on. But, you know, she made the choice, I guess, to choose him over me. I do agree that Mia married me for my money and the future that she thought I could provide. Yeah, I absolutely believe her leaving me now is tied to the fact that I don't have access to assets and my funds are limited at this point in time, that she now has access to funds. And this guy that she's seeing, she believes has access to funds. And I think she's leaving me for that reason. She's mentioned that they're going to be buying a house together and doing businesses together and other kinds of things together, which tells me that the interest is based on monetary gain from the relationship. So I absolutely believe that she's leaving me because she sees an upgrade. My desire is to never, ever, ever be associated with her again beyond our co-parenting situation. If we end up getting back together, it would only truly be for some advantage it would give the kids. It wouldn't be for love on my part, because right now I can't trust her. I don't believe what she says. I don't believe that she loves me.
Here's the thing that's really key to this. My manic got worse over the years.
Now that you've been diagnosed, is there medication that can even you out?
Yeah, there's medication, Andy, but what I have learned is that the key to controlling this is not the medication exclusively. You have to go the rest of the way yourself. So first thing you got to do is understand the behaviors that are the beginning of going into a manic episode. Mm-hmm. Mania builds. I think what happened is when she started making a lot of money in the show, felt like I had no access to capital. You say, okay, now's the time to leave.
Uh-huh.
And
can you see it coming?
I cannot.
Mia can.
Right, I cannot.
Oh, wow.
But people around
and if she sees it coming, can she say to you, gee, this is happening?
Correct.
And will you take that in, though?
Prior to our separation, she had said that to me a few times, and I didn't listen.
Right.
Let me finish.
So, but let's pause there.
Guys.
Let's pause there. You took
You
my
guys
phone,
enjoy talking
locked
to
me
her.
in a room. Gordon.
This is so unproductive. It's a waste of my time.
When you reached out to the other gentlemen and were texting them about what was happening in your
I
marriage.
was deep into mania.
I don't know if, so I like was losing my mind because Gordon called Chris and Eddie to tell them all Mia's business. Oh. Before he went to TMZ. Oh. And was like, tell your wives to call me so I can give them tea on Mia. And like she's been, all the stuff that's come out, he told our husbands first. It was insane.
It was exaggerated by my frustration, my anger.
When you locked Mia in the room.
Locked her in the room?
You locked her.
It took my cell phone, Gordon.
I took the cell phone.
And took her cell phone?
On the phone with you know who. So then I took your phone for 2 hours. Then you got mad and went off to Atlanta with.
Yes, because you
Well,
took my phone and locked me in a room. Okay?
I said for 2 hours you can have her back, get some rest.
Gordon, you're not my dad. Who does that?
Let me finish.
So, but
I don't remember locking her in the room. I remember taking the cell phone. Part of what happens when you're in mania, you really don't remember everything.
Yes.
So I'm not saying I didn't, but I don't remember locking her in the room. But I did take the cell phone.
Do you believe that she was having an affair?
During the marriage, yes. Duration of it, no. I don't think you thought this through well enough to think about all the unintended consequences. So this is one of them. I've known you've been having an affair for 10 years or longer. I know you had an affair just before we got married.
Okay.
Let me just say this.
Yes.
Mia has been absolutely wonderful. And you may say, why do you say that when this other stuff was happening? First off, Whatever's gone on, I forgive her, and she's forgiven me.
Okay.
I fully believe had I gotten control of this manic behavior sooner, Mia would still be with me. I don't think she left me because she wanted to be someplace else. She left me because she couldn't take this anymore.
Excited about therapy? No. You know we're going through a lot, right?
All the financial issues and the businesses and stuff. Like that's the main
Girl,
focus.
yes. To say the least.
I've been perfect, of course.
Perfection is impossible
course.
to achieve, so I know that is false.
Of course, he thinks he's so perfect.
I hear some animosity. So I guess we'll start with check-ins with the D word being thrown out.
Yeah. Before this whole crisis, I had actually retained a lawyer to file for divorce.
Where are you both now?
What's the D word? Divorce?
Divorce.
Oh. As far as the D word, that was never my consideration, so you got to ask her. Well, I agree and disagree because I've been asking, what did I do wrong? And the only thing that's been said is I wasn't listening.
We did get to a point where I was ready to divorce you. You know what I mean? So, but I was ready to.
I didn't know that, but okay.
You did. Well, you didn't know that at the time, but you know that now.
I didn't know it at the time until I saw the receipts from the lawyer that you had been talking to.
I think I said this in our session last time I was here with you. You know, I am committed to Gordon through thick and thin. And so when I seeked counsel for a divorce, it was because I wanted to outweigh all of my options because I felt like we were in a space where you were really difficult to like cohabitate with. There was a moment where you were very combative. You were combative with your kids, you were combative with our partners, you were combative with me, and I'm just like, I've lived my whole childhood, which I had no control over, was combative.
Things got so bad and so low for me. I went to the hospital and checked myself in.
Wow.
The next morning, guess who was there? Mia. She showed up the next morning.
That's really amazing.
Make sure that I, had everything I need. Left and went to get me a change of clothes.
Yeah.
My place was 70 miles away. She came to see me, I believe, every day but one while I was there.
It sounds like she's taking care of you.
It seems, Mia, like you have been committed to making sure that he's okay. You're now exiting. So I'm worried about Gordon. Like, what's the path moving forward?
Yeah, I'm forever.
So you're always going to be.
I'm forever going to
like
take care of Gordon.
caretaking, so to speak.
Absolutely.
I preface this by saying that we are all aware of how culturally sensitive of an issue this is. It was a story that we wished that we didn't have to tell. It was the real life dynamics that were happening between the two of you. But it's important for us to address that production was not aware of the alleged shrine call.
Submitted my name to a shrine and threatening to send my in-laws' name to a shrine. It was never about Neka. Nice try. Nice try. It was not a fight between friends. Ivy told my in-law that Wendy was upset that I had allegedly used her name, and I'm telling people that she and I are friends, to be amongst a social circle. It seemed like her sister and her mom were trying to prevent me from interacting with these women.
Maybe instead of them to see you as a fellow Nigerian, they're seeing you as a Nigerian that maybe want to take somebody's spot.
And casting had originally wanted you to come on the show through Wendy because we thought you had mutual friends and that this would make sense. What production told me was that you didn't necessarily seem that excited by the idea.
They said, okay, we have somebody. And they said, do you know X, Y, and Z?
Right.
And I said, no, I don't know her. And then they said, oh, that's funny. She says she knows you.
I met her at an event, but I've never said that she and I are friends because I don't know her. I met her in passing.
Okay, guys.
You knew exactly who I was.
Get her, get her, get her. Get her, get her, get her, get her.
I didn't know you. I still don't know you.
Okay.
That was it. So I wasn't excited, not because I didn't want her on the show. I didn't know her. I don't know her.
The hatred came from her sister communicating that I'm a clout chaser. I'm jealous of you. Everything under the sun. So you went and told her sister, and her mama that I was on the show and they were mad.
Okay.
I met her at an event for Umuibo, the Fino concert. I met you in a private VIP, maybe less than 20 people, 10 people.
Sometimes for us, if two people have met a few times,
But they
in
know each
our
other.
mind, it's like, oh, they know each other. They've been at events.
And so all I was doing, I wasn't shading. All I was doing was responding, saying, I don't know her.
Okay.
That's it.
Her and my sister were friends. They're no longer friends.
As of April 7th, when your mom threatened shrines on people.
Had you been trying to connect with Wendy to get onto the show?
Never a day in my life. My husband's cousin, Lebe, she was aware that Married to Medicine first reached out to my husband, who then got in contact with me and wanted me on their show. She's like, oh my gosh, you're here in the DMV. I have another Nigerian Igbo sister. You guys have to meet.
When you first met up with Ashley, she brought up Wendy being Osu. What does that mean, being Osu?
Well, sis Ashley, you brought it to this platform. What does that mean?
I mean, I would say...
No.
I
will say that in that vein, so only because I talked about it with NECA. We just, like, I was talking about you, how esteemed you are, how professional you are, and this and that. I told her that you were a doctor. Dr. Wendy. Wendy and I are friends.
Wait, so Dr. Wendy, is this medical doctor?
No,
okay.
It's a PhD.
Okay, so doctor of philosophy.
I was like, okay, I didn't know that was
No,
like,
I'm a
seemed to be-
doctor of philosophy.
I respect it.
What only less than 1% of the world has.
I respect it immensely.
I'm Wendy Osefo. I am a visiting assistant professor at the School of Education.
Is an education professor at Johns Hopkins University, and she's a doctor. So Dr. Wendy, we are going to start with you.
Wendy Osefo is the definition of an accomplished woman, a professor, political analyst, and entrepreneur. She made headlines for earning her PhD in public affairs and community development from Rutgers University, the first black woman to do it in the university's history.
There was this article about you or something being like Osu or something.
The families that give up their children are considered Osu.
Okay.
And it's literally been abolished, you know?
It's been abolished.
Osu is something from like ancient gods in Nigeria. My family is not that.
Okay.
Right? And it basically is people who are considered outcasts. So the fact that you came to Cameron's Sippancy, if you're an Osu.
The Gales.
Yeah, the Gales.
Gales.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
If you're an Osu, no one would come to your events.
I see.
No one would be around you.
I have never tried to misrepresent that I know what Osu means, number one.
Okay.
I know that it's something culturally sensitive. I have acknowledged that, but I have never once said that I know what it is.
I want to say to you, Wendy, that I think I may have implied that she said that about you, being Osu, but she didn't. I misrepresented that. I'm actually excited to see Wendy tomorrow. And I was just thinking about, I'd had this conversation with NECA first.
Okay.
And we were just kind of like chatting about this stuff about Wendy, and that she was like Osu or something. And I didn't know what any of it was. So yeah,
So what's
NECA
Osu?
educated me. Essentially, it's like an outcast. So then I told Wendy that we had talked about it. I think that when we were chatting about it, I may have implied that to Wendy, that NECA was like sort of implying that Wendy was Osu.
NECA said she was Osu?
No, I said she may have implied that she was Osu. And she made it very clear that she does not think you were that or anything like that. Okay. If I told you that, I apologize.
And I told you I didn't quite understand the severity of it as well.
What was your intention in bringing it up?
Thank you.
And why not bring it up to Wendy?
It was something that had been brought to my attention. Prior to me meeting NECA, it was brought up again. And that was why I talked to NECA about it.
Very convenient.
It is
Andy,
not
I will
to
say,
disparage you.
I will say, though, because you're asking about what it means.
No.
Truthfully speaking, I don't believe that any of us here are competent enough to really speak about it appropriately. So when asking what the definition is, I don't even feel comfortable really divulging much.
Osu caste system in the Igbo land. If you're not familiar with what Osu means, these are people that have been referred to as outcasts, believed to also be the sacrifice to the gods, in the essence that they become the slaves of the gods. And also they help the priests and high priestess during the indigenous religious rituals. And when I say gods, I'm talking about the ancient or indigenous religion back then. Some people have sort of compared their roles and responsibilities to the altar boys in the Catholic Church. So I don't know if that I'm gonna go with that comparison, but that's a topic for a different day. How can one acquire the Osu tag or label, or let's say status. Let's go with status. I think that's more appropriate. There've been so many tales, and because there's so many tales from different Igbo land, there is no one story to it. But I'm just going to tell you a bit from what I know. Well, they said back in those days, during intertribal wars, the people that won, so the spoils of war, that's what we call the people that they were captured, so the slaves that they would get during those wars, when they are sold off to a new master, and this master decides to give them away to their gods in a bid to maybe appease or gift them, they become Osu. So these slaves that were captured during war become the Osu because they were gifted from they were gifted to the gods by their master. Sorry, why is my mouth tongue-tied? It's also believed that, back then, a lot of the indigenous religious practices involved human sacrifices. So these slaves were given to the gods for this human sacrifice. Before I continue, there are 3 stages that I want to talk to us about. The first one are the Osus. I just explained that that's the slave to the gods. The second are the Ohus. These are the slaves to the masters. These are the people that were gotten from, from war. While the third are the Wadialas. The Wadialas are referred to as the freeborns, the son of the soil. So in terms of the hierarchy of social class or social status, the Osu caste system insinuates that the Wadialas are the right at the top. Those are the freeborns, while the Osus are right at the middle. Then the Ohus are right at the bottom because they are the slaves. It's also been believed that vulnerable communities that knew that there was no way they were going to win a war, or they were going to win an intertribal war, would usually seek refuge in a shrine nearby. And the moment the priest or the priestesses acknowledges these people that have been, that have come to their shrine for refuge, they automatically take on the Osu tag, in the sense that they run to the shrine to volunteer themselves or to give themselves up to the gods. And so many of them would rather do that than become slaves. And back then, when you are a slave or when you've been gotten from war, they usually sell the slaves to the white man as well. So a lot of people were like, no, we don't want that. We would rather just become Osu and keep our life. And I'm sure you're wondering that why is it that people run to the shrine? What is it that the shrine can do to them? Well, if you're someone with the Osu status, you are immediately immune to harm. It's said that if you hurt someone that's an Osu, and they go back and they cry to their gods, because they are slaves to the gods, and apparently it's been said that they can manipulate the gods for their own benefit. It's a very long story. If they go to the gods and they cry to them, the gods would punish you for hurting one of their own, for hurting their slave. You get that kind of thing. So a lot of people used to fear them and they used to respect them, quote unquote. So these are different ways that people can acquire the Osu status. There's one that's quite gets to me, is the fact that when you do something bad, you become an Osu. So if you do something that is not socially acceptable, or something that is seen as criminal in the society, like rape, incest, murder, you automatically become an Osu person. Due to urbanization, there's no way that people are going for intertribal wars anymore. We're not going for intertribal wars. We're not going to give humans to the gods or slaves. But this system, or this phenomena, let's call it, is still quite prevalent. And why is it quite prevalent? It's because there are 2 ways that people still acquire the Osu tag, and one that's through inheritance, and the other is through marriage. Inheritance: when you're born in an Osu family, you automatically become an Osu. So no matter what you do, you can't take off that status. You're an Osu person. Secondly, if a non-Osu, that's a Wadiala or a freeborn, should get married to an Osu person, the person automatically becomes an Osu, because getting married to an Osu person, if you're freeborn and you get married to an Osu person, it's seen as a taboo, as an abomination, and people would not want to associate with you.
Is this a bad thing?
It's taboo. We don't talk.
Taboo.
We don't talk about it.
We do not talk about it. There's no reason it should be talked about on this platform. And honestly, Ashley, I don't want to hear anything else, because if you knew how taboo it is, Wendy, you would not say anything else, and you would just eat it and say, I'm sorry, and move on.
And I have.
And
what
move on.
What I will not fall on the sword for is what followed subsequently.
NECA has apologized for referring to your mom as a witch.
You know for a fact the impact of calling somebody or somebody's family member a witch.
Your mom submitted my name to a shrine.
Okay. She did not.
I'm willing to even put that aside for us to move forward.
So can you not
I apologize.
You're not understanding that I've been deeply impacted as well.
I'm talking about the fact that you called my mom a witch in my face. I can say tangibly you did that. You're talking about something that is hearsay and third party. That's the difference.
Ledette can testify
That's
to
the
what she
difference.
was told about me.
We can agree to coexist and move forward. Just take accountability and move forward.
She submitted my name to a shrine. And threatening to send my in-laws' name to a shrine. Candace, let me tell you something.
You all are
That's why it was shocking, because that's not a cultural thing. When her sister was calling, the mama said, I have a shrine. You're the one that can't take accountability. I've apologized for the items that Andy just stated. I was very excited and happy to be with another Nigerian. This is the first time on any Housewives franchise that two Nigerians, Igbo people, are on the same page. And she's attacked me in several different forms. Instead of the phone calls, she was over here spreading the lies about the Osu. Osu had nothing to do with me. True. All season long, she had no energy for Ashley, never confronted Ashley about the Osu thing.
I may have implied that to Wendy, that Nneka was like sort of implying that Wendy was Osu. And she made it very clear that she does not think you were that or anything like that. Okay. If I told you that, I apologize.
Trying to ice me out of this group, trying to ice me out in front of the whole world.
We saw a new cast member, Nneka, is coming for your mom and said that she's submitting names to shrines. What shrines, what names, what does this all mean? Can you unpack this for us?
No, I can't, because I pray to my blood and Savior Jesus Christ, and so does my mom. And if you get a copy of my memoir, which I released last year, Tears of My Mother, the story of my legacy Nigerian, I talk about how growing up, my mom didn't have much to give us as a single mother, but what she did give us was the power of prayer. And as a woman who is so devout in her faith, her Catholic upbringing, to have such malicious accusations accused of her really is disheartening. And it's sad that it's coming from someone who is a fellow Nigerian to use what I call xenophobic tropes that as immigrants we are often, grew up with when we were younger, and it's hurtful. But I wish her well. I hope she got the attention she was craving.
I just say too that when you meet Miss Susan, she emits.
Oh yeah. We feel like we know her just from seeing her on TV.
The Holy Spirit. You could never think anything else of her except that she is a down home regular mom that wants to protect her family.
So where do we stand with the new cast member right now? Is she here at BravoCon, or will you be talking to her?
I think she's here. I think we're all here. I did see her from afar. I don't like to jump the gun. I had a lot of issues with the way that she came at Wendy, and especially the way that she came at Wendy's mother, but I don't really know her. I don't know her. So I'm over here on the side just watching, and I would really love to see her properly reconcile with Wendy.
What I have found is that sometimes with newer housewives, they want to assert themselves. And for me, it's clear that she came in with an agenda. And that's okay, because the fans have spoken.
Do y'all think that you'll ever be friends? Because y'all are Igbo sisters. Kick it.
I have said what I have said. I said we can coexist and we can move forward.
I have really just moved on past everything that transpired, the phone calls, everything, the crackhead. I've moved on past all of that. And I operate generally from a space of grace. And everything that I said and did at the sit down that she and I had was from a genuine place. And I really had an open heart and good intentions on moving forward. And that's still on the table for me. I'm willing to sit down and rehash things if we need to, but it was a really tricky topic. And I know that some viewers were really taken back by the topic of shrines and all that. And, I really feel bad. I'm apologetic that had to air on TV. And, especially Nigerians, because as Nigerian people, we're really prideful of our culture and our customs. And we don't really like to put out that type of negativity. So I completely understand why some viewers really were taken back by the topic. And I was as well. And I was terrified and frightened along with it. And I just was really committed to reality TV. And these are the things that were happening in real life at that time. So the cameras cover it all. But I've moved on. I've moved on from all that.
In a very unfortunate turn of events, an altercation erupted at the GNA event a few minutes after our cameras went down. Kiarna, what was the sequence of events that led to your injury?
Sure. Essentially, I was there really just trying to de-escalate the situation. And Deborah clearly came with the intent to have this moment.
Get her.
Can you get the help? Get the help away from me. You don't have anything to say to me in front of my face, all right? But whenever I talk to you, you don't want to say anything. Get her out. That's bullshit. Get her ass out. Get her ass out. Where is she?
Where is she? Where's the ladies' room?
Oh my God. Call the ambulance. What happened? How did that get like that? Deborah, do a drink on Candace. She threw a drink on Candace, but she hit me in the head. What happened?
I don't know. Deborah just, when I grabbed her, I picked her up and she was like, one of Wendy's friends touched me. I didn't touch her.
I need Candace. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Where is she?
Where
I don't.
I'm not doing this no more. I'm pissed. I know. Has no reason to touch that.
Talk to her mom.
I know you are. But let's put her first. Let's do that. I need to see nearest hospital. She's going to be all right.
Get that raggedy bitch the out. You're fine. Get that Sesame Street ass bitch and don't come back. And don't come back. Bye, Grover. And don't come back.
The incident was caught by bystanders and ended up on TMZ. So although we didn't show the altercation,
It was awful.
many people have seen it.
It was awful.
In the footage, you can be seen throwing punches after Deborah throws the drink on you. What was going on at that moment?
I mean, at that moment, I was assaulted. Someone hit me in the head with a glass, a deadly weapon, split my face open. And so my first instinct was to defend myself in that moment. Candace's hair, she's gonna call me the help. And then out of nowhere, Kiana hits me in my face, and then I threw my
she punched you?
Yeah, in my face. And then that's when we got on the floor.
Deborah.
Put your hands on me and think I'm not going to say anything, and I'm not going to do anything.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay.
The girl, Deborah, threw a drink on Candace. She threw a drink on Candace.
She
and
threw
then
a drink
I-
on Candace.
I pushed her out the way, but I don't even know what happened. We were fighting, but you hit me in the head.
If she goes to the hospital, I want to talk to her mom and let her know where she's at. Let's go. I'm with you. I got your purse. I'm right here with you. Is Kay okay?
Kay, don't look at it. Everybody calm down.
Kay is calmer.
Come on. It's okay. I need to rinse my face off. Come here.
Yeah, she's getting ready to come out.
No. She wants everybody out. She wants everybody out.
All right.
She wants everybody out.
All right. I'm right here.
So we're standing up. Next thing I know, Deborah, Sesame Street or whatever, she takes a drink. She goes to hit Candace. At that point, I'm like pushing her back because I see like she's a problem. She turns around, grabs a glass, hits me in my damn forehead. My face. Are you okay?
Ashley said in an interview that you still put blame on Candace for going too far with her mouth.
Nothing you could have done.
I know, but I know tensions between Deborah and Candace have been, bubbling for a long time.
But what's the name jumped in it, though? So
I
she
know.
should have stayed out of it.
Deborah is my homegirl. She really has held me down and been supportive of me so much over these last couple of years. So even though we're not together romantically, because we talk about the kids all the time, it doesn't feel any different.
What's that saying, like cheaper to keep her?
And I don't have Candace at the forefront of my mind when I think about Deborah. I feel like these are two grown women who, they don't mesh, fine. The club is huge. There's no need for everyone to be feeling like pressure because so-and-so is here. I can be, and I have been, in a room with people that I don't mesh with all the time. I've said and repeatedly say, I don't condone fighting. I just don't do it. Like, we talk, we yell, we say things with our words. You know, my castmates and I have all gone toe to toe at some point in time. I've never ever thought to use my hands. I'm just not that way. So for the actions that happened that night, they are not in alignment with who I am. They are not in alignment with what I believe. And I could never have anticipated that that would happen. I know a lot of people think otherwise, but yeah, I just don't get down like that. I don't roll with it. It's unfortunate that it happened that way, but you know, I can only deal with the aftermath, and you know, that's it. I'm an adult. You've never seen me put a hand on anybody, okay? I'll never spank my children, and I'll never put hands on anybody who doesn't touch me first.
Why do you feel that Candace's mouth was an issue that night?
Because it's always Candace's
words
fault.
play a factor.
Always my fault.
I didn't say it was your fault.
You
I
justified
am not
violence against me.
I am not attributing that horrendous incident to you. Your words could instigated it and made it more explosive.
Anything that you and I need to talk about? Absolutely not. The help is talking to me. Can you get the help? Get the help away from me.
She was going to do that whether I said nothing or tried to beat her up.
I don't think
she
you
came with the
You think you're
intention
gonna
to fight me.
situation, though? Because if she came at you and you believe she was already being aggressive, saying, "Do you want to say anything to my face?" Do you think the
I said
comments
no.
exacerbated her anger?
The fact that here we are again, and me using my words somehow trumps someone attempting to physically attack me.
I don't think anyone said that your words trumped that.
I agree. I am thankful still that we had a great show.
Yeah.
What Deborah tells me is that while she was sitting there, she could hear Candace and Wendy talking about her. And so she got up and said, "You're talking about me." She said, "Called her vermin, help." And I care about Deborah as my friend. I don't really know what transpired before, because what she says is, you were talking about her or something and you were calling her vermin or the hell. No.
She said your words play a part.
They played a part.
No, they don't.
Yes. They exacerbated it.
She wanted a problem with me.
Thank you.
What they're saying is that you were playing with a loaded gun.
Well, I'm also a loaded gun. We know.
I know, but with your words.
Yes.
Right. You're not gonna.
If I don't know what would have happened.
Okay.
I don't know.
Ashley, did you invite Deborah around to stir things up?
No.
Seemed like she only came around last season to drop bombs about people's husbands.
So apparently when Chris was talking to Deborah, I guess Eddie came over, and the consensus seemed to be that Eddie was being flirtatious.
I've never met this man before. First time I met him. And then Eddie, that thing that's the name, Happy Eddie comes over. Who's Happy Eddie? Wendy's husband.
Everyone thinks that I invited Deborah to be messy.
She's not
I did not invite Deborah to be messy. She had previously expressed to me that she wanted to clear the air with you and that she didn't know she'd ever have the opportunity.
That was not clear
Yes,
air.
I'm sorry. Because she feels like there was a miscommunication. That's what she told me.
And you believe her?
Well, what else do I have to go on? I mean, a lot of time has passed. I don't know Deborah to be a violent person.
Well, she's violent.
And again, I didn't invite her to get under anybody's skin. She is was a close friend of mine. She really has held me down and been supportive of me so much over these last couple of years. I don't have Candace at the forefront of my mind when I think about Deborah. I feel like these are two grown women who, they don't mesh, fine. The club is huge. There's no need for everyone to be feeling like pressure because so-and-so is here. I want her to be there and celebrate in the night. Well, I do want to say also, I'm sorry to Kiarna. That was not something I wanted to happen at our event. So I'm sorry that you went through that.
Okay.
Truly.
I'm with you. I got your purse. I'm right here with you. Is Kay okay?
Kay, don't look at it. Everybody calm down.
Kay is calmer.
Come on. It's okay. I need to rinse my face off. Come here.
Yeah,
Do you accept that?
I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Ashley is the queen of, the aftermath apologies when it comes to these situations.
Okay.
I accept that you are big enough to apologize, and that's all I have to say.
Why is it an aftermath?
Anything else you want to say before we let you go?
I can't say it during.
I mean that you're not proactive in general about not causing a mess, but that's just my personal opinion.
I've expressed that was never my intention. I could never have anticipated.
I do not think that was your intention.
Nothing you could have done
I know, but I know tensions between Deborah and Candace have been, like bubbling for a long time.
But what's the name jumped in it, though? So
I know.
Is there anyone who wants to step up and apologize or own anything and throw into the embers of yesteryear?
Maybe a hug, anybody?
Candace and Robin, anything?
I don't have any anger. When you had a friendship that we had and you go through something like this, it doesn't just heal itself in one day or in one sitting. But I have no animosity, no hatred, none of that.
Run to Twitter and talk all the shit you want about me. I don't give a You're not a victim.
Where are you going? I'm done. I'm full. Why can't I see you? What's wrong with your FaceTime?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
Laundry, like folding clothes.
Oh, okay.
Not say for the record, I don't give a damn.
The only person that and conversation needs to happen is you and Juan. Period. The end.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
I don't want to be in a friendship with someone where I have to be perfect according to their friendship standards, or else
in front of
I'm
me.
going to
You can be perfectly flawed.
It's categorically unfair to have this issue with me and not let me know that you are offended. I had no idea.
I'm not throwing my husband under the bus for anyone's entertainment. And so if while I'm filming a show, if that issue is no longer, why would I do that to my husband?
They were talking about allegations.
She tried to imply that what I said had something to do with Juan being fired. And it just really, like, that hurts. I literally sat there and spoke up for my husband. You just literally going to take it like I'm the reason why he lost his job.
No, I'm
That
saying
is what you said.
Robin,
Y'all can talk about the woman all you want, but don't talk about his job.
I can say the same. I feel like I, over the course of the season, like mourned the friendship. And I'm kind of at a neutral place. I mean, you said the friendship was over. So if there's any movement, the ball is in your court.
I think that for Robin and I, it's a matter of needing to hear each other and wanting to fix it. Right. I'm not sure at this point if Robin even wants to fix it. And if that's the case, then that's her decision. It's unfortunate, though, that, given everything that has been done to Robin by others in this group, that she would choose this hill to die on is unfortunate.
Do you think that she's taking out all of the frustrations that she's feeling from the other women out on you?
Maybe. For some reason, I don't understand why that would be, but for some reason, yes. It is starting to feel that way. Because as I said, the line is always moving.
Right, yes.
You're so angry with me for tweeting my feelings about your clown behavior, if you ask me. Sure. And everyone else has also had opinions. Your best friend has shaded you in confessionals and had things to say about your husband that are unsavory and mean-spirited. But me speaking on your clown behavior is somehow unforgivable. Sure. It feels like a concerted effort to try and push me somewhere into a corner.
Or like a double standard as well.
Yeah, that as well. So it's weird. It's
weird.
Very strange to me. Yeah.
Is that the relationship that upsets you the most that's dissolved? Because I think at one point you said that you felt like she was a sister to you at one point. Yeah.
Definitely. That's that was not on my bingo card.
No.
At all.
No.
So yeah, it's like the Twilight Zone a little bit because Robin has always, in my mind, been the most level-headed and the most sane of the group, and that's kind of why I gravitated toward her. But she's painting this narrative that exists in her head, and I can apologize where I have hurt her, but I can't accept that what I've done is unforgivable when we as an audience have watched truly unforgivable things happen and you have gotten over them.
Nneka and Wendy, I get the sense this isn't going to happen.
Andy, I continuously throughout the season have taken accountability for everything that I've done and said. I left everything at the table that day when she and I met, and I was ready to move forward and put my own issues to the side to just see what the interaction would be. And that's still where I am.
Andy, you know, my comment to NECA still remains, which is, what have I done to you?
Well, I think it's really unfortunate. You know,
Yeah,
when I
me
came
too.
on the franchise 4 years ago, I really had pride in being the first Nigerian housewife, and my culture is something I hold near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
But just with her, the rhetoric that she has been using and the way she's been weaponizing it is really dangerous. And a lot of the conversation around what she is alleging that is not true is really xenophobic. And so that's where it gives me pausity, because there comes a time when there's fun shade, and then there comes a time when it crosses the line and things become dangerous.
Right.
I met with you, said, you know what, we can coexist, we can move forward.
And you did both apologize to each other.
And I apologize for the crackhead
I
comment.
didn't receive an apology directed to me.
Crack? Because that's what I smell. Be careful with the allegations, honey. Nobody's smoking crack over here.
No way.
That it's because of drugs?
No. Mm-mm. Now, I grant you, I partied. But there have been times when I know I was going through a lot of emotional stress and my eating habits were awful.
Whitney dying. Crack rehab fails.
First of all, let's get one thing straight. Crack is cheap. I make too much money to ever smoke crack. Let's get that straight.
We shouldn't put out, like, drug accusations out on the floor. Unless it's true.
Let's not put out any allegations. Let's be clear.
But she
Let's
backed
not put
up.
out any allegations.
We're not rehashing, we're you know, but
There
I
were
said
apologies made.
Well, earlier today I apologized for a crackhead comment.
And that's okay.
She apologized
Go ahead.
today.
Yeah, I apologized for a crackhead comment. Go ahead.
Giselle and Candace, I'm not even going to try.
I came here today with the intention to move forward. I think that I have, from the bottom of my coochie,
yes,
I have tried.
Tried to do what? You move
can't-
forward because you acknowledge things. She won't even acknowledge
You're not
it.
capable of accountability.
She won't even acknowledge it.
That's it.
She won't even acknowledge.
Oh, my God. I think the two of you need Jesus himself.
I have him. He is right here.
Okay. All right.
He's right here.
I can't wait for this to air
I
and the
can't
tweets.
either.
Bitch, shut up. Yeah. Bitch, shut up. Bitch, shut up. Yeah.
Listen, I was ready to unleash and unload, and they didn't show half of what was done. To this day, I still recall certain things that happened that weren't shown. Like there was this one point where after the binder, the biggest memory that I have and the thing that I hate that they didn't show, with Giselle, she was so upset and she was so quiet after lunch, like had nothing to say. When Chris came out and pretty much read her, she lost it and she just blurted out, F you! She like lost it and they never showed it, but she lost it. And I was like, that pretty much summed up, you know, why I left, because they were constantly protecting the people who should have been exposed and show who they really are on and off camera. And they kept these protections for people to the extent of not even protecting, you know, my innocent children and those whole narratives that they were trying to point out. And it just got me to a point where I was just like, you know what, I don't have to deal with this. This is too much. And I decided to walk away.
Why do you think
Yeah.
that pick and choose protection, if that's what it was there in the first place?
Well, if you're a puppet master, you're going to keep your puppets. So the ones that you can control, the ones that you can get to do what you want them to do, you're going to keep those people. But the ones who speak up like me and say, no, that's not me, I'm not doing that, I'm not saying that, we're the ones that get the hardest time because we're not doing what they want us to do. We're not creating the show that they want. We're still trying to maintain a sense of who we are.
I can't either. Narcissism at its
All right.
finest.
Karen, the fence
is mine.
You are still the fence.
Thank you, darling.
You tried very hard.
I did.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
But I also appreciate that you're right in the middle of Potomac. while NECA is up there in North Potomac,
Not North
governing
Potomac,
her
Andy.
strip of land.
It's Potomac proper.
So the streets are saying that the girls are gonna turn on you the way, you know, they turned on Wendy and Candace. What do you think about that? That they're using you to push them out, and then eventually they're going to turn on you, and then it's going to be an "I told you so" or "I should have listened" moment, is what the streets are saying.
Listen, I am an honest person. If anything happens, I will get on Twitter, on Instagram, like, hey, y'all told me. I wasn't listening. My bad, peoples. I would do that. I don't know, because I can't predict the future, and I'm not them.
Right.
But right now, they cool peoples. We have a good time together, and I trust them as friends. So if there's hiccups in our friendships that are regular hiccups, then we'll keep moving. But if there's intentional things, then we're going to have to reevaluate.
Do you think the group has the range to discuss colorism? That was a comment that was made during the reunion, as far as, you know, I don't think this group has the range to discuss that topic, you know, was a comment that was made. Would you agree?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, because I haven't had those type of conversations with the ladies, so I don't know what their mental abilities are. I do know for a fact some of them can, right? Because they're used to having these conversations on the regular.
Who are the ones you think that can?
I know for sure. I think obviously Wendy can. I know Candace can. I do believe Karen can. And Karen can probably do it in a different way, because she's older than us and she's experienced it at different levels in her life and in different settings. I think Robin can for sure, because she's experienced a lot of colorism in her life, and she's, you know, talked about it during filming, where a lot of people hated her because she was light skinned, right? And, you know, mistreated her to where she actually didn't want to have light skinned kids. Like, she used to pray that she would have dark skinned children because of the way that she was treated. So I know that she can talk about it. Giselle, I think I haven't had those conversations with Ashley, so I don't know what her range is. But Ashley's also somebody who will sit down and learn and listen.
Okay, fair. Are you returning next season? I think that you are. I saw what do you call it? A poster where it says you're returning. Has that been confirmed?
I think, you know, now is the time that they kind of get all these things together, and I think announcements will be made and decisions will be made soon.
Do you know if you're returning?
We don't know these things. Isn't that crazy?
Are you sure?
What do you mean, am I sure?
Like, or is that like the political thing to say until there's like an announcement?
I think everyone in the Housewives world knows that, like, after the reunion is when deliberations and stuff start.
So we've heard, or at least it's been said, that Candace isn't returning.
Breaking news hot off the press involving Potomac's Candace Dillard Bassett telling People magazine apparently that she will not be back season 9. Now, the singer joined the show in season 3, we all remember, and she says that she is filled with gratitude for the journey. The 37-year-old went on to say, quote, "With a whirlwind of new opportunities and responsibilities on my plate, I have decided to take a break from RHOP." Ashley, did you know, and how do you feel about it?
When I tell y'all, I found out just like everybody else, because my phone was going ding, 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 ding,
Is
ding.
this breaking news for you too?
100%.
Wow.
Completely caught me off guard.
Did you text her? What'd you say?
No, I've contemplated, but no, I haven't. And it's just a little surprising because we haven't really been told. So that's news to me that she's making that choice.
But is it surprising, though, because she has so many other things going on? I mean, the budding music career, for one.
Well, you know, there's no shock that this is a really good platform to show yourself and to promote what you're doing. So, yes, to me, it is shocking that she's making the choice. Hopefully, the other opportunities that she has are going to surmount or surpass what Housewives is.
Robin isn't returning.
Reunion, the last reunion episode just went off last night, Sunday, if you're listening to this on a Monday. And I wanted to respect the network and respect the show and wait until the season ended which I think, makes sense, to share this news. But yes, I will not be returning to season 9 of The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Hear you say it out your mouth, like it's like killing my heart right now. And I obviously I know this information, but like to hear you say it.
Right. It's reality. It's reality. The network did not invite me back. I was fired, for lack of better words. And I will not, sugarcoat the situation and say, oh, I am walking away and this is a break or anything like this. This was a network decision. And I'm okay with it.
Oh, you're going to cry? Oh, Robin, you're going to make me cry. No tears. Oh, God. Okay, well.
I'm not going to cry. No.
Okay, go ahead.
No, and then I just want to finish. Shit.
We don't even have tissues.
It's so crazy because we still have Reasonably Shady, but I really want to say I love you.
Oh, me? Oh, no. You're gonna make me cry.
And it's been such a fun, amazing, stressful, crazy, wild journey the past 8 years. I couldn't imagine doing what we did, with anyone else.
She always has tissue. Because of that damn nose of hers.
But to my Green Eye Bandit, my partner in crime, it's the show really, we started off as friends. It's so funny because we, for whatever reason, we were meant to sit next to each other that night.
Yes.
I think it was in November of, 2011, maybe, whatever. When Charisse,
at Knockout.
Yes, at Knockout Abuse, a charity event. When Charisse invited us as her guests,
yes,
we sat next to each other at the table, and we laughed and joked like we'd known each other for years.
I know. That was so much fun. Before anybody knew us, like that, and we trashed the entire room.
We did. We liked every person that walked past, all the drunk people, just had a good old time. From there, we were great friends, and then the show, brought us even closer.
Yeah.
And we've, been through a lot on the show and faced a lot of scrutiny and judgment and hate.
Oh God.
And we've supported each other through that. So although we still have Reasonably Shady, I'm still going to talk to you all the time and see you all the time. I hate that part of our friendship is, not there anymore.
Can you speak to that?
I know that Candace doesn't want to come back, and she's made the decision to pursue other things in her life and, her music. She's an actress as well. And I know she has 6 embryos in the freezer, so she might want to pop them things in too. So, she's taking a quick break. And so that's an announcement that she made, yes.
Yeah. Okay, we saw you guys at Gag City with Nicki Minaj.
It was amazing.
And we saw you, Robin, Giselle. Am I making up seeing Charisse?
Shasha was there.
Okay, Charisse was there.
Shasha's always down for a good time. She's not going to miss a good time.
And there was another lady.
Ashley.
No, not Ashley. Well, Ashley was there, but then there was another lady.
Jules. That's one of Ashley's friends.
Okay, so is this what the cast is looking like? Or is this a girls' night situation?
Well, Mia was supposed to have come with us, but Mia was recovering, so Ashley brought her friend Jules, who I do know and love. So I don't know if this is what the cast is going to look like.
So do you have any input in who they replace people with?
Stephen, if I did, the cast would look different.
I'm just saying if we had any power.
Yes.
Marissa would be there. But we do know that people's friends get on the show all the time, and sometimes they become housewives, right?
Yeah, they can. It's not a given.
Okay.
As we saw with Marlo for Atlanta, it took her quite a while to get to the peach, but who knows what's to come. I just know, whatever comes for season 9, it's going to be a doozy.
Okay, I hope you're on there. I don't want to hear 10 minutes from now that, another news. But I know a lot of people have been calling for a shakeup, though, and they felt like this season wasn't as bombastic as previous seasons. And I'm wondering if that's playing a role in what we're seeing today, but maybe we'll find out soon.
I'm loving the bombastic.
Yeah, I tried to be nice.
I like that.
Simply fantastic. We also.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
That's good.
You know, we also have to get to the elephant in the room regarding the Grand Dame, Karen Huger, just last week charged with the DUI after that car crash in Montgomery County. We covered this here on Good Day DC, and police have since confirmed that she was arrested after that crash. They say it appears Huger crossed the median and hit a street sign. And in a statement to TMZ, she said a car was heading right for her, causing her to swerve out of the way. So, Ashley, have you spoken to Karen since this was released?
I texted her and called her because the reunion was a very tough reunion for me, and Karen called me as soon as I got home to like check on me. So I felt this responsibility to extend that same courtesy to her after this traumatic experience for her. And it took her a while to get back to me, but she did, and she just said that she's doing okay. But from what I understand, she's pretty shaken up with everything.
This makes you emotional. Why?
Because I really love her, and even though we have our disagreements and our relationship has gone through a lot, you never want to see anybody go through this, considering that Karen's health could have been jeopardized, someone on the street could have been hurt. So there's just so much that could have happened, and thankfully it didn't, but you know, the what ifs are really scary.
Yeah, one thing that touched me, and I said this on air, that she talked about her grief journey, and I know the pain of losing a parent, and she said that that played a role in the actions of that night. Have you been following her and working with her, helping her during her grief journey at all?
We try to be there as much as we can for Karen. She is very close to the chest. She keeps things. So as much as she's willing to share, we're willing to listen. And we always tell her, we're here for you. Like, she knows she's got at least 2 sets of ears always here, ready to listen to her.
And the difference between bipolar and bipolar 1 is really the degree of manic that you have. And if there was a bipolar 2...
Last time I was on my knees, I was praying for Sharice to get out of my fucking face. I was praying to you, Lord, remove her from my eyes. And look where she's at. Gone! Yes! Look how you do me, Lord. I love it. But now I'm asking you to get Miss Mia and Gordon, Mr. Gordon, out of my face, please. And I'm not trying to play Gordon, as I'm happy that he shared his mental health journeys and that he has bipolar 1, as he could be helping viewers identify that they might be having a mental health crisis or going through something mentally, and to go get that checked up on. Because I feel like a lot of times in the black community, not to make it about race, but we don't like to, or it's a stigma around checking up on your mental health and so on. So I applaud this for being shared, but also at the same time, I feel like I want Gordon and Mia out of my face, as I just said, because I don't know when they're telling the truth or not. You bitches are always gagging and lying and so on for antics, and I just have a hard time investing in a storyline from Mia and Gordon due to, like I said, all of the lies and the antics. And I get he has an excuse. He has bipolar 1. Not that it's an excuse or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, we know what he's going through to make him act the way he's acting. But Miss Mia, I don't like what's going on. Let's bring it back to the love and hip hop storyline in this bitch with the who's baby daddy or who's the baby daddy in this bitch. I don't like that. Your children will see this later. And I guess, yes, you could play it off as you were acting. But isn't this a reality show? So, like I said last week, didn't the child say he saw you in the bed with Mr. Ink or something? I don't know what's going on. Gordon could be lying about that, as he just said he's been going through manic episodes, but I want you on Zeus. Lord Jesus, put them on Zeus and Alpha Bravo and out of my face. No more Carlos King talking about she's the future of Potomac. No, bitch. Worry about your shows and you not paying your cast members the right amount of money that they should be paid. And you talking about all these Bravo shows. Your priorities are fucked up because your show should be #1 in this bitch, not you talking to... Okay. I'm getting off a track in this bitch. Let me get back on track. Like I said, put Mia on VH1 or Zeus, okay? Y'all keep saying Kiana needs to be on Love and Hip Hop. What the fuck she needs to be on Love and Hip Hop for? Because of that one fighting incident? Well, maybe. But I feel like she gives class and elegance. She owns a business. She actually has things going on that I would like to see, as opposed to seeing What? Ashley rubbing her old sour ass man's feet in this bitch? Y'all want to see that? Y'all want to see Gordon and Mia and Mr. I already know the answer to that. Y'all do want to see them in they sour ass, ghetto ass storyline in this bitch, as y'all like to call me ghetto in this bitch. They serving ghetto on a motherfucking platter. Okay, this is the end of my prayer. Like I said, Jesus, please remove them from my eyesight. Well, not my eyesight. My Real Housewives of Potomac. Get them out of my face. Okay.
We're all aware of how culturally sensitive of an issue this is. It was a story that we wished that we didn't have to tell. It was the real life dynamics.
Oh, hold on. Andy on that stuff again. Andy on that stuff again. Andy is on that stuff again. What stuff I may be talking about? That stuff. Allegedly in this bitch. Because you have to be to think that we are going to believe that the producers and you didn't have a hand in this whole beef between Miss Ineka and Wendy. Yes, Ashley started the mess, but who put the bug in Ashley's ear to talk about this article that was put out months ago, years ago at this point? It's an old ass article that got brought up this season when all of a sudden another Nigerian is on the show. Are we not connecting the dots in this bitch? Maybe I'm being too much of a conspiracy theorist in this hoe, but y'all kill me trying to play like y'all didn't know anything about this and oh, we feel so bad about this. Y'all don't feel bad the way y'all were editing this season. Y'all were living for the antics of the mama witchcraft and all this shit. So I don't really go for this. Get out of my face.
And I told you I didn't quite understand the severity of it as well.
What was your intention in bringing it up?
Thank you.
And why not bring it up to Wendy?
It was something that had been brought to my attention. Prior to me meeting Nneka, it was brought up again.
Y'all clocking what she's saying in this bitch. Okay, read between the lines. It was brought up again when she met Nneka in this bitch. Who brought it up to her? Ain't nobody asking that. Andy knows who brought it up, so I don't know why he's playing dumb in this bitch, and I don't know why they trying to play the viewers for being a dumb asshole in this bitch. But this bitch ain't a dumb asshole because clearly the producers, and again, this doesn't absolve Ashley of being a bone-collecting, messy asshole, as she repeated what the producers wanted her to repeat. So, producer puppet. But let's not act like she didn't get it from the producers, which I don't know why she not saying. Well, again, I know why she not saying, so.
Ew. Like JK, but like maybe not. But thank you for watching. But you hating ass bitches always have something to say. Hating ass bitch, but you're still watching my vids. What? You're so upset. But that's like okay, because have a piece of bread, have a Xanax, relax, because I said what I said.